Hey gang, Jane back with a new crochet video. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite tools I use to create my projects. I often get asked about how to determine yarn quantities for a project. So today I'm going to show you how I use a regular kitchen scale to do just that. You can find these in any kitchen supply store or in the kitchen section of a department store. I got mine off of Amazon. There's a lot of choices on there and very affordable. I'll leave a link to this particular scale in the description below. First, let's take a closer look at the scale and how I use it with my squares. So the scale itself is not very big. It's 9 inches this way and 7 inches this way. And it's about 1.5 inches in height. It doesn't take up a lot of space at all. It usually comes with multiple units that you can use. So I just turn it on here. It immediately tells you the screen with all the units on it. I go with grams. And if I just push this button over here for units, it can actually do milliliters, fluid ounces, which is also good for yarn, pounds with ounce, and grams. So I prefer grams. That's what my yarn comes in, and that's how I measure stuff. It has a decimal point here. It's really good for measuring small items. So if I take one of my squares and put it on, this is my easy breezy square with 2 extra rounds on it. This individual square is 8.7 grams. I don't know how well the camera's picking up the actual screen of the scale. Hopefully you can see that. So when I'm working a project that I have, in this case, I have 5 colors. I have 5 different squares and they're in all the combinations. They stay in the same order. Each of the colors rotates through the positions. So if I have 5 squares, the concept is that I've used the same amount of yarn for the total of the 5 squares. So if I was to measure 5 squares together, all of the assortment of the 5 squares, then I could easily take that number, which in this case is, it's kind of bouncing around here because I'm talking and waving my hands around and moving the table, but I think we're settling on 42.5 if I stand still. I would divide it by 5 because of the squares. So then I went and touched it and now it's 42.4. So just round it. We're going to work with 42.5, but I would divide it by the 5 to get the weight of 1 square, which gives you approximately 8.5 grams per square. And then I can just test that out by measuring 1 square. So this square is 9.3. They're all going to be a little different because each yarn has a touch of a different weight to itself. This square is 8.2. This one's 8.1, 8.4, you kind of get the idea. So I do like to do a bunch of squares and then take an average. Now just to address that first square being so far above the average, it was 9.3 grams instead of 8.5 grams. I do mix my yarn brands in my projects, and although they are all worsted in this case, the thickness can vary between the brands and even between colors within the same brand, because the dye has a different effect on the yarn. So out of the 5 colors, the parchment is the thickest, and this square uses the most of that color, so it's going to weigh a little bit more. This is just something to keep in mind, and the scale will help you see how you may need more of one color, simply because it's a touch thicker than the other colors. Now, if taking an average doesn't work for you, you can get even more accurate by deconstructing a square and weighing out each individual color. So if I take this square, I can rip out each round and weigh the amounts separately. So this gives me a super accurate reading for each square. I like to record these in a notebook, so I make sure that I have the round numbers and the colors that I'll be using in each of the rounds. Then I'll work my way through the colors. So I will have the total amount of the square written here at the top, just to give me an idea of what I'm working towards. Theoretically, all the rounds added up together should work out to that number. They don't always, but at least I know what the ballpark is. And when you get to the last round, it may not even register because it's so light. So I just subtract it from the reading for the last 2 rounds together. So for this particular square, the 2 together equal 1.4. And then the second round was 0.9. So I can subtract 0.9 from 1.4, which makes my first round equal 0.5. Now, when I'm designing a project, it usually starts with me making the complete piece first through a lot of trial and error. Often when I finally land on a finished version I'm happy with, I've worked my way through multiple balls of yarn. Some I've ripped out for another day and some I've used, so that means I often don't know exactly how much yarn actually went into the finished piece. This is where my scale saves the day for me. I do take notes while I'm creating, but often I write the pattern by deconstructing the piece and making it again. This is great because I can weigh the remaining unused color of yarn and subtract it from what I know a brand new full ball weighed. So I find out how much I use by process of elimination, so to speak. It's also handy if you have half balls in your stash and you want to know if you have enough of a color that you can use in a project. To weigh items that are larger than just a few squares and they won't fit completely on the scale, because it's important they fit completely on the scale or your weight won't be accurate, you can just use a bowl or a basket, any container. You put the bowl on the scale and then you zero it out, which is called tearing in scale language, simply by pushing the button to reset it to 0. Now you can weigh an entire blanket or a sweater, or you can weigh a whole bowl of squares. So by weighing each completed stage of the project, I can determine how much yarn is being used for each step. So if I join my squares with my join as you go method, then I just have to subtract the total weight of the squares from the total weight of the finished piece to determine how much yarn I used for the join. I hope this tutorial has given you a little insight into how I determine my yarn quantities. If you'd like me to share how I use this in an actual blanket, let me know in the comments and I can make a tutorial for that in the future. If you enjoyed this tutorial, it would mean so much to me if you would like and share this video. And if you haven't already, make sure you click on that subscribe button so you're sure to catch all my tutorials as they come out. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.